I was wondering if you guys could do 107 facts about Toy Story. Thanks, bye.
It's hard to imagine life before Pixar movies. The iconic studio changed the way we watch animated movies, and it began just over a decade ago with Toy Story. Remember how excited you were to see the epic toy tale in theaters? Yeah, of course you do, because you're a human being. I'm Maggie at Frederator, and we're here to give you the story behind the Pixar film that started it all, Toy Story. Think you know everything there is to know about Woody, Buzz, and the rest of the gang? There's so much more to this beloved film than meets the removable Mr. Potato Head plastic googly eye. So get ready, because Channel Frederator is counting down the 107 facts that you should know about Toy Story. Let's get started. Number 1. Toy Story was directed by Academy Award-winning animation legend John Lasseter. Number 2. It was his first ever feature-length computer animated film. Number 3. According to Lasseter, computer graphics in the early 90s gave a plastic look to characters, hence the decision to focus on toys. Number 4. Lasseter was first introduced to computer animation in the early 80s while working for Disney. His two friends, Jerry Reese and Bill Courier, showed him early footage of Tron's light cycle chase, which heavily utilizes this new technology. This glimpse at the future inspired Lasseter to strive towards creating a film made entirely using computer animation. He's even gone record on saying that without Tron, there would be no Toy Story. Number 5. The foundation of the story began with an image of a toy being left behind and watching their owner drive away. The film also asked themselves, what if our lost toys were looking for you as hard as you were looking for it? Which is really sweet, unless we're talking about my old Furby. Number 6. Lasseter said that the team's ultimate goal was to develop characters that the audience could laugh at, root for, relate to, and grow with. Number 7. The film was also inspired by an early Pixar short created in 1988 called Tin Toy. It was a story told from the perspective of a toy named Tiny, who tries to escape from the clutches of a teething infant. Number 8. Tin Toy won the Academy Award for Best Animated Short in 1988. Number 9. Due to the success of Tin Toy, Disney approached Lasseter about creating a sequel to the short film, a 6-minute Christmas special. Pixar didn't think that 6 minutes was enough, and so requested a 30-minute special. When this request reached Walt Disney Studios president Peter Schneider, he suggested Pixar just make a feature-length film based on the Tin Toy instead. Well, alrighty then. Number 10. The original story pitch involves Tiny from Tin Toy being accidentally left behind by his owner while on a family vacation, where he becomes lost at a rest stop. He would meet up with a ventriloquist dummy, and they would embark on an adventure that would lead them to a preschool, and they would never be outgrown or lost. I wonder if this later inspired the plot of Toy Story 3. Number 11. This concept was scrapped when Pixar decided that Tiny was a bit of a dated character and couldn't carry the story. They removed him and then moved the ventriloquist dummy into the spotlight, who would later become a cowboy doll named Woody. Number 12. Woody was based on an old pull-string doll of Casper the Friendly Ghost that Lasseter had as a child. Number 13. Former head of Walt Disney Studios, Jeffrey Katzenberg, had a list of demands when Pixar started writing Toy Story. Chief among them that it be edgier and cater more towards adults. This resulted in a draft that featured a more cynical and sarcastic Woody, who was flat-out abusive towards his fellow toys and wanted nothing more than to eliminate Buzz Lightyear. This draft was so poorly received that it nearly shut down production of the film. Katzenberg learned his lesson and relinquished full creative control back to Pixar. Number 14. Years before he changed the face of comic book films with The Avengers, Joss Whedon was hired to rewrite the script. Whedon claimed that the concept was gold, but the story was in shambles. So he spent over 6 months with Pixar reworking it into what it is today. Number 15. It's claimed that Whedon's biggest contribution to the story was the idea that Buzz was unaware he was a toy, and that he believed he was an actual space ranger.
You are a child's plaything!
The team at Pixar believed this added much more dimension to the character and gave him his own personal arc. Number 16. Much like their hand-drawn films, there were talks of Disney wanting Toy Story to be a musical. Whedon and Pixar thought a musical wouldn't mesh well with the buddy movie they were writing, and Whedon has gone on record saying it's about people who won't admit what they want, much less sing about it. Buddy movies are about sublimating, it's not about open emotion. Number 17. Whedon is also credited with creating Rex the dinosaur. Number 18. When Toy Story was being developed, Jurassic Park had just come out and made the T-Rex the next iconic movie monster. The writers decided it was a good time to mock the popular prehistoric predator by giving him a slant, making him the most neurotic dinosaur to ever walk the earth. Number 19. During production, the filmmakers would make frequent runs to Toys R Us and purchase toys of all kinds to see how they were put together and to more accurately portray how the characters looked and moved. Number 20. The toys' personalities were based on their toy type. Since Mr. Potato Head is always having his parts removed and replaced, they figured he would be the kind of character who would always have a chip on his shoulder. Number 21. One requirement for the pre-existing toys to appear in the film was that the toy had to have stood the test of time by being manufactured and sold for at least 2 generations. This was done to make the film itself timeless and remain relatable to future generations of children. Number 22. The only exception to this rule was Slinky Dog, which ceased production well before Pixar began developing Toy Story. Number 23. It was decided that Ham the Piggy Bank would be a know-it-all character because he spends his days atop a shelf looking out the window into the outside world, just watching everything that happens. Number 24. Co-writer Andrew Stanton said that the scene with the most rewrites was the meeting of Andy's toys right before the birthday party. Number 25. Stanton also claims that the scene most difficult to write was Buzz and Woody's argument beneath the truck at the gas station. Number 26. Sid Phillips is based on Stanton and Joe Ranft, both of whom have a habit of taking their toys apart and putting them through bizarre scenarios. Number 27. Lasseter and Stanton don't believe that Sid is evil, just incredibly creative. They claim taking toys apart and reassembling them is his way of play acting. If Sid's just an artist, how come his robot with the Barbie head still gives me nightmares? Number 28. Pizza Planet was originally a pizzeria miniature golf course called Pizza Putt. It was changed when the team realized Pizza Planet would further delude Buzz into thinking he was closer to reaching Star Command. Number 29. Barbie was originally set to appear at one of Sid's sister's toys. According to Lasseter, she would have been a tough-as-nails character like Sarah Connor from Terminator and would have helped Woody escape Sid's house in her pink Corvette. Mattel thought the film would bomb and denied Pixar the rights to Barbie. Number 30. The film originally intended to end with a karaoke Christmas party with Buzz using Mr. Spell as a lyrics prompter. Number 31. The first scene to be storyboarded and animated was the reconnaissance mission of the Green Army Men. The team felt the sequence epitomizes the essence of the film and provided a perfect introduction to the world of toys and what they go through. Number 32. Woody's full name is Woody Pride. Number 33. Woody is voiced by the 2-time Academy Award-winning actor Tom Hanks. Number 34. To convince Hanks that he was right for the role of Woody, Pixar prepared test footage of the sheriff that was animated around some of Hanks' dialogue in the movie Turner and Hooch. Number 35. Hanks often told producer Bonnie Arnold, "It feels like all my character does is scream throughout the entire movie." Voicing Woody would have often left a pain in Hank's sternum for up to 3 days. Number 36. Arnold pitched "You Are a Toy" as a potential title for the film. Number 37. Pixar developed a similar test with an early version of Buzz. This footage was animated around some of Billy Crystal's dialogue from When Harry Met Sally. Number 38. Billy Crystal actually turned down the role of Buzz Lightyear. Upon seeing the film after its release, Crystal went on record saying that rejecting Pixar was the worst mistake of his career. Lasseter heard about this and some years later gave Crystal the role of Mike Wazowski in Pixar's 4th feature film, Monsters, Inc. Number 39. Jim Carrey was also on Pixar's wish list for Buzz, but they couldn't afford him. Number 40. Toy Story's budget was $30 million. This was significantly lower than other Disney films at the time like The Lion King and Pocahontas, which had budgets of $45 million and $55 million, respectively. Number 41. It was eventually decided that Buzz Lightyear's iconic vocals would be provided by the star of Home Improvement, Tim Allen. Number 42. Buzz started out as a miniature red astronaut named Lunar Larry. He was later renamed Tempest the Morph before Pixar finally settled on Buzz Lightyear. Number 43. Buzz is named after American astronaut Buzz Aldrin. Aldrin was the lunar module's pilot on the Apollo 11 mission, where he became the second man to ever walk on the moon. Number 44. Lasseter described Buzz to his designers as the toy that any boy would just die to have.
Buzz Lightyear, the world's greatest superhero, now the world's greatest toy!
Number 45. When designing Buzz, the filmmakers thought back to all the coolest features that their favorite toys had to create the ultimate cool toy. Some ideas included karate chop action, the ability to glow in the dark, LED lights, a wrist communicator, voice samples, and wings. Number 46. There's a copyright for Disney printed on Buzz's butt. It can be clearly seen when Buzz leaps off the railing and attempts to fly. Number 47. Comedian Don Rickles was Pixar's first choice for Mr. Potato Head. Luckily, he was available to bring the iconic toy to life.
It's not supposed to be babysitting Princess Drool.
Number 48. Ham's voice actor, John Ratzenberger, is also famous for playing Cliff the Mailman on the 80s television show Cheers. Number 49. According to the filmmakers, Ratzenberger is an ad-libbing machine and with the gift for sprouting one-liners. For every line that they had him read, Ratzenberger gave them 10 hilarious alternatives. Number 50. Ratzenberger has gone on to voice a character in every Pixar movie following Toy Story. His roles include P.T. Flea in A Bug's Life, the Abominable Snowman in Monsters, Inc., and the School of Fish in Finding Nemo. Number 51. Slinky was the last character to be casted, who's played by the late Jim Varney. Number 52. Varney gave Slinky such a distinct performance, the animators went back and completely redesigned the character to better match his voice. Number 53. The voices of the Little Green Men were provided by various Pixar employees that inhaled helium. Number 54. RC, the remote-controlled car, was based on characters like Lassie that can't communicate with other characters through typical speech. Number 55. Sarge, the leader of the Green Army Men, was played by R. Lee Ermey. He's best known for antagonizing Private Pyle as Drill Sergeant Hartman in Stanley Kubrick's film Full Metal Jacket. Number 56. When modeling the Green Army Men, there were 3 details the animators made sure to include for 100% authenticity. First, the soldiers were badly molded and had flaps of plastic sticking out of their heads. Second, the gun barrels were almost always bent. And third, the soldiers' feet were always planted to the green bases. Number 57. Pixar received a list of signals from the U.S. Marine Corps to use as reference for the silent hand gestures between the Green Army Men. Number 58. Eagle-eyed parents may notice that the soldiers actually have the wrong end of the baby monitor with them inside the plant when spying on Andy's party. Woody and the other toys have the end you talk into, while the soldiers at the other end have the one you can only listen to. Number 59. Apple co-founder Steve Jobs attempted to persuade producer Ralph Guggenheim into hiring Bob Dylan to write and perform the film's soundtrack, but sadly to no avail. Number 60. Instead, Toy Story was composed by Grammy-winning singer and songwriter Randy Newman. Number 61. On top of composing the film's score, Newman personally performed the songs You've Got a Friend in Me, Strange Things, and I Will Go Sailing No More. Number 62. Newman continued to work with Pixar after Toy Story. He went on to score the sequels, the Monsters, Inc. films, A Bug's Life, and Cars. Number 63. The film originally planned to open with Andy watching an animated Buzz Lightyear cartoon, establishing that Andy wanted the action figure from the start. The scene was scrapped when the filmmakers felt that the scene would make it hard for the audience to believe Woody was Andy's favorite toy, even though his name is tattooed on his foot. Number 64. Andy doesn't have a father because Pixar couldn't afford to give him one, as human characters were very expensive to model at the time. The filmmakers felt that having 2 parents just wasn't necessary to tell the story they'd written. Number 65. That being said, all of the human extras are slightly modified models of Andy, Molly, and Andy's mother, with different hair, skin tones, and clothes. Number 66. Andy's last name is Davis. The proof is in the film's credits, where his mother's voice actress, Laurie Metcalf, is credited as Mrs. Davis. Number 67. Andy's mom's license plate is A113. Students and alumni of the California Institute of the Arts, or CalArts for short, should be familiar with this number. It's the room where the first-year character animation and graphic design is taught, and where many Pixar and Disney employees began learning their craft. Number 68. Some book titles in Andy's room are names of several shorts Pixar produced prior to Toy Story. They include Knick Knack, Red's Dreamed, and the aforementioned Tin Toy. Number 69. The filmmakers designed the first scene of the movie to be a spaghetti western through the eyes of a child. Number 70. The scene where Combat Carl is blown up is based on something that Stanton did as a child. When he was just 8 years old, Stanton and his friend ventured out into an open field where they strapped an M80 to the back of a broken G.I. Joe and lit the fuse. Number 71. Lasseter wanted Sid to blow up a G.I. Joe, but Hasbro didn't take very kindly to one of their most iconic toys being blown to pieces. Number 72. The sequence where Buzz is knocked out the window was choreographed after the Steven Spielberg film Raiders of the Lost Ark. The sound the pushpins make when they hit the desk is the same sound as the arrow trap from Raiders, and the sound the globe makes as it chases Buzz is also the same rolling sound the boulder makes during the iconic boulder chase scene. Number 73. According to the filmmakers, the most difficult sequence sequence to animate was the army men latching onto Woody after he knocks Buzz out of the window. Number 74. The design of the Whack an Alien game at Pizza Planet is a reference to the scene in Ridley Scott's Alien, where the infant xenomorph bursts out of Kane's stomach. Perfect for a kids movie. Number 75. The little green men worshipping the claw as their god was the idea of Gary Truesdale, the director of Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Number 76. Editor Lee Unruh had a friend who would place a treat on his dog's nose, making him patiently wait for it until he got the command to eat it. This was the inspiration for Sid's trick with the little green men. Number 77. Sid burning Woody with a magnifying glass was something that Mike Gabriel, the director of Disney's Pocahontas, did to his toys as well. Number 78. The sound that Sid's dogs make when he's sleeping were designed after the breathing sounds used for the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. Additionally, when the dog wakes up, his pupil dilates, similarly to the T-Rex in the film. Number 79. Magician Penn Jillette of Penn & Teller was brought in to be the assaultive voiceover for the Buzz Lightyear commercial. He was so loud during the recording sessions that people in the lobby of the studio could hear him through the soundproof walls. Number 80. When Alan was recording for the tea party scene, Lasseter put it bluntly, "You're just drunk. You're drunk on tea." Thus, Mrs. Nesbit was born. Number 80. Woody hitting Buzz with his own arm came about from a production story from the film Commando. The Toy Story team heard Arnold Schwarzenegger begging the director to film a take where his character would beat a man to death with his own severed arm. The Commando director thought Arnold's idea was going a bit too far. Number 82. Hanks ad-libbed Woody's interactions with Buzz's arm while he's trying to convince the other toys that Buzz is alive. He even acted with a fake prop arm in the recording booth. Number 83. Despite their great chemistry, Hanks and Alan never recorded their lines together. In fact, all of the actors recorded the lines apart from their fellow voice actors. Number 84. When Sid traps Woody inside the blue crate, viewers may notice the name Binford Tools printed onto the toolbox that Sid places atop the crate. This is a reference to Home Improvement, in which Alan's character hosted a show within the show called Tool Time that was sponsored by the fictional company Binford Tools. Number 85. The Eggman Movers truck in the film was based on art director Ralph Eggleston's login ID at Pixar. Number 86. Prior to Toy Story, Eggleston had zero experience in computer animation. Number 87. The environmental artists created 6 city blocks worth of streets for the moving truck chase scene. Number 88. The editing and choreography for the moving truck sequence was heavily inspired by a Super Bowl commercial for the Nissan 300ZX, directed by Ridley Scott in the early 1990s. Number 89. The chase scene was the last scene to be animated. This was intentional, as Lasseter knew it would be the most exhilarating scene in the whole movie. Number 90. The famous Hakuna Matata cutback during the chase sequence was Randy Newman's idea. Number 91. Originally, Woody was supposed to light the rocket with the match he collected in Sid's backyard, but Pixar was frustrated by how predictable and easy that would be, so they had a passing car blow it out. Number 92. The yellow ball with the red star and Andy's room previously appeared in the Pixar short film Luxo Jr. The ball has made cameos throughout other Pixar films ever since. Number 93. Pixar's production team consisted of 110 people with 28 full-time animators. It took 4 years to finally complete. Number 94. The film's Pizza Planet truck has appeared in every Pixar movie. It's even appeared in Brave and The Good Dinosaur. Number 95. Toy Story premiered on November 22nd, 1995 and raked in $191.8 million domestically. The film went on to make another $362 million worldwide. Number 96. For leading the creation of the world's first fully computer animated feature film, Lasseter was given the Oscar for Special Achievement in Filmmaking at the Academy Awards in 1995. Number 97. To add to the list of firsts the film has accumulated, Toy Story was the first animated movie to be nominated for Best Screenplay at the Academy Awards. Number 98. Newman's You've Got a Friend in Me was also nominated for Best Original Song. Number 99. Woody dolls sold in real life were never voiced by Hanks. Due to his busy schedule, his brother, Jim Hanks, plays the role on the merchandising front. Number 100. There's an actual Pizza Planet at Disney's Hollywood Studio theme park at the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida. It even has an arcade. Number 101. When Pixar sought to release Toy Story on DVD 5 years after the film was released, they went back to the original animation files and realized that 20% of the movie's data was corrupted and unusable. Number 102. In 2008, Toy Story was adapted into a live-action stage musical that was performed on Disney Disney Cruise Line's The Disney Wonder. Number 103. In 2009, Toy Story was re-released as a 3D double feature alongside its sequel, Toy Story 2. Number 104. In January 2013, two huge Toy Story fans, Jonathan Pauly and Jesse Parada, released a full shot-for-shot live-action remake of Toy Story after 2 years of hard work. The fan filmed used 150 actors, stop-motion animated effects, puppets, and the film's original score. Number 105. Pixar recognized the duo's Herculean efforts and personally invited them to the Pixar Animation Studio, where they passed out DVDs of the live-action remake to various Pixar staff members. Number 106. Toy Story is the only Pixar film to date that features an opening credit sequence. Number 107. Lasseter credits The Nightmare Before Christmas for Disney giving Pixar the opportunity to create Toy Story. Prior to the stop-motion classics production, Disney refused to collaborate with an animation studio that wasn't their own. Because of Nightmare's success, Disney was willing to work with Pixar to create the then independent studio's first feature-length film. Thanks for watching Channel Frederator's 107 Facts That You Should Know About Toy Story. If you liked this one, perhaps you'd like some of these other shows. And if there's another movie or TV show that we need to cover, make sure you let us know in the comments. Because remember, guys,
Frederator loves you.
You could have an episode about my aunt.